I got my diploma in the architecture school of Athens in Greece, and then I got my PhD on social geography. My main field are urban studies, and I've been specialized to tourism studies later on. As I told you, my background is mainly architecture and urban studies. When I had the possibility to work on a tourism institute, I understood how interesting for urban studies and architectural studies is to understand how tourism interferes today with urban context. I was an architect, I am an architect. I've been working as an architect for several years, mainly in the restoration of historical monuments. So my specialization on heritage comes also from a professional exercise as an architect. Now, in the University of Paris 1 Panthéon-Sorbonne in Paris, I am the director of EIREST, which is an interdisciplinary team for research on tourism. As far as I know, this is the only team that is specialized on tourism in France. It's quite rare to have an interdisciplinary team. Studies in France on tourism are much more disciplinary oriented. I am also the director and the coordinator of the UNESCO Chair, Culture, Tourism and Development, and the coordinator of the Unit We Network, Culture, Tourism and Development, which brings together 30 universities all around the world. And I think that tourism studies are today the most interesting and interconnected area to bring together geographers, economists, managers, anthropologists, or ethnologists. We do have this chance to bring together all these different disciplines and to create a new field of study. The last space of freedom. Well, the most important, of course, is to work with students. And I think this is really a valuable, gift academia can offer today to people that works in this milieu. Working with the students means also to work with emerging ideas, emerging research, means also to be challenged every day, and I think this is really wonderful. Heritage making today cannot only be understood in relation with national construction, as it used to be in the past. It now increasingly interacts with the new phase of globalization and with the construction of plural territories. These evolutions on the context of major changes of the global heritage frameworks and regulations that I'm speaking here because this is one of the major themes on which we are working. I'm speaking here about UNESCO, and this connects also to the UNESCO chair that I coordinate. I'm speaking about the huge success of the 1972 UNESCO Convention on Heritage, which obviously contributed to develop the concept of heritage around the world. And I'm speaking also about other major texts, such as the 2003 UNESCO Convention about Intangible Heritage, and also the 2005 UNESCO Convention on the cultural diversity. So all these major texts play a very important role today on the global production of heritage, and this again interferes, of course, with tourism, because I believe that the growth of mass tourism calls for a new qualitative and quantitative answers to the diversification and to the multiplication of heritage consumers and producers who are the tourists, I believe, today. And I try to understand how these urban contexts are now, in fact, transformed by tourism. As a social and urban geographer, I'm very interested, for example, in historical areas in France and in North America. My ongoing work now is on Le Marais, which is the historical area in the center of Paris. And in fact, I try to put in relation some phenomena studied by other researchers, such as the concept of super gentrification, which was brought by Liz. And I try to combine it with the concept of hyper-tourismification. So I'm suggesting this concept of hyper-tourismification, which is characterized, in fact, by an ensemble of characteristics: tourism centrality of these specific areas, tourism embedment in everyday life, by globalization as of real estate. I mean, these places belong to everybody around the world. Also by what we could call a global culturescape, by hyper aestheticization, and by a very exclusive brandscape, and also by creativity, by design, and by architectural iconicity. And finally, by a very, very sophisticated tourism governance. That means in these places, all the bodies, all the local decision makers work and play with tourism.